Welcome to Real Talk with Real Estate Pros, where we bring you exclusive interviews with the real estate experts. We'll delve deep into their journey to success and learn how to go the extra mile to serve their clients' wants and needs. Let's dive in. Here's your host, John Money McKinley.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with Real Estate Pros. I want to thank everyone for being here today. Thank you for tuning in. As always, we are here Wednesdays at 11:30 a.m. Central. And it looks like my trusty technician, Zach, in the back has helped me get everything corrected and taken care of with my audio. So audio should all be good. But if you all wouldn't mind doing me a favor, if there's any challenges with the audio, just give me a comment in the chat. I would greatly appreciate it. Once again, this is a show that I put together to really give you real information about what's happening in the world of real estate, finances, and credit. There's a lot of misconceptions going on around thanks to the trusted folks on your television and the media. And that's the reason I put this show together here, to bring real experts who are involved in the real estate process on a regular basis. And I am very excited about what we have going on today. But first, before we dig into this with my special guest today, I would like you all to do me a favor. Do me a favor, please like and share this video with people that you know that are looking at doing something in real estate. Please also, too, share this with real estate professionals you know. I am always looking to have new guests on the show. And of course, as always, subscribe. But with that said, I've got a special guest here today. And a lot of you have heard about the AI, because that has been in the news tremendously lately. And with that said, I would like to bring in my special guest, Mr. James Wang. James, how are you on this wonderful morning, sir?
John, and good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you being here, James. And when I first heard about you and met with you, I was really fascinated because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world of AI, and it just becomes overwhelming. And I'm sure people in the chat here have seen this when they're online. We see a lot of generated images that are AI, that are clearly generated by machine, where they have multiple fingers. And when I met with James, he really started explaining to me on a deeper level what he's been able to do in the world of real estate to really help people just get a better experience when it comes to the home buying process, as well as really change what's happening in the world of real estate. Am I correct in what I'm saying so far, James?
Thanks, John, for the intro. Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do. You know, I'm a co-founder. Let me give a brief background info. So here, I'm a co-founder, CEO of REAI. So basically, we are, I guess a lot of folks haven't heard about us, but coming this year, I think most people will start to hear a lot about us. We are actually the only company with a portfolio of AI patents for real estate industry, and we have a lot of deep tech and unique applications that most people haven't seen in the industry yet, and we're determined to bring it to everybody, to buyers and agents, and to help everyone do a much better real estate transaction journey. Yeah.
Oh, great. Well, I'm going to move you up above me right now, if you don't mind, James, and I'm going to just show everybody here a little bit of information, kind of dig deeper into what you and your company are offering. And I've got some questions I'd like to ask you, and I'd also like to too share in the chat. If you have any questions for James, please just make a comment in the chat, and I will make sure to get it over to Mr. James. But James, my first question for you is, AI is often associated with chatbots like the Chat GPT, But what I'd really like to know is how can real AI go beyond simple communication and really have something that can truly help home buyers during the home buying process?
Yeah, this is a great question. I get asked a lot about it too. So basically, I think we have to look at what is OpenAI, the ChatGPT, really from a high level. So basically, OpenAI provide this generic tool for general consumers to get some answers for their daily tasks. So more like pretty much the information that ChatGPT provide is very general. It's just for everyone's some daily needs, and beyond that, it does not really help specific industry or specific usage cases. Like here, if we are looking at real estate needs, and it doesn't, because ChatGPT doesn't have all those doesn't have all those knowledge built in, and it doesn't have all the unique machine learning models. So we've been actually work quite a few, like the past 6 7 years. We built a lot of unique models, and way before like ChatGPT, become known. So we've been really building a lot of unique machine learning models, and that's why we had the patents on it. So basically, to help homeowners, right? Because homeowners, when you buy a house, what house is really good for you? What kind of situation will be good for you right now, or a year or two down the road, or 5 10 years down the road? And what kind of mortgage is really good for you? And is it like a fixed or 15 or 30 years, or flexible rates? So a lot of people doesn't fully understand all those things, and then they just like you know rely on buy agent, right? Buy agent is, a lot of them is really nice, helping people, like give them a lot of hand holding advice. But sometimes when the buy agent is busy and you have to make a decision right away, how do you do it? If you ask ChatGPT, it doesn't really give you a real answer, for your specific real estate questions. That's why I would say uh, it's very clear that for this industry, for real estate industry, when people buy a house, and when they go through mortgage, insurance, and all the transaction needs, there need to be some very unique industry focused AI support that can help consumers
Well,
in a
that's
real sense. Yeah,
yeah. So that's good to hear. So you and your team have really been working with this, AI system for longer than just 12 months. You guys have really been digging into this and going, okay, how do we take this tool and use this tool to really give a better experience to the home buyer, but also to, if I'm understanding you correctly, helping agents with a tool as well that they can use to help the home buying experience. Am I understanding you correctly on that, James?
exactly. So agent can use our system, can use our features to make sure that all the tests is run in an optimal like a process. And then so basically, instead of working 8 or 10 hours a day, agent use our system. They only need to work like a 1 or 2 hours, and then they can spend the time mostly for building up your clients network, and build up the interpersonal like communication needs, whatever. And most of the things, like, right, like for a buyer, what kind of property would be really good for you, instead of agents spend few hours on MLS listing on for the clients or buyers directly. They spend few hours every day on Zillow. We can do a deep dive, and we can analyze the each buyer's needs, and then we can not just the current but also project the future potential future needs, and then we can match them to property. That's our first pattern, which is a match. So basically, that is something that really help a lot, and also not just matching on property, but also we can give them advice on mortgage, what kind of mortgage were really good for you, and then we can match them to a provider like you guys, right? And what kind of mortgage services, and then so the buyers doesn't really need to spend, or buyer agent doesn't need to spend that much time, like every day, like a few hours, just do a search and randomly, and they still can't find an answer. And matter of fact, National Associate of Realtors (NAR) did a survey last year, and they showed 82% of people has a remorse factor. They spend the buyers and sellers totally they pay like 6% commission, but a lot of times they don't feel like they get the right deal for them after they moved in or after they sell because they just like that's why the 82% of people has a remorse. So I think through this, through our uniquely developed patented technologies, we can help people, you know, trying to get the best service, best deals for them, and then the agent can do much easier job as well as their buyers and buyer clients.
Yeah, and that's something really important, and I can relate to you a lot on what you're saying is over the years, there tends to be a more of an unpleasant feel when a borrower is done with a transaction. And I feel a lot of stuff that's happened recently with a lot of the changes, it just seems to be getting more that way, especially at least on my side, on the mortgage side, because there's so little clarity for borrowers. And a lot of borrowers really feel that they've been taken out of the picture and they just don't feel that there's any connection anymore. And that's very interesting to hear about what you guys are doing to really keep it to where the borrower is getting that full transparency during the process, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Exactly. Yeah, not only transparency, but also trying to, basically we match them to the best deal or whatever the best matching available in the market in terms of the best matching properties available, and also, on the mortgage, on the insurance, and other services need interior design. And we also provide services that, people can visualize how property that they're interested in, how it will be like in different models in different renovated styles, and so people can have a better clue, what they are getting to.
Well, let me ask you this then, James. Can buyers and sellers successfully handle real estate transactions on their own? Or is working with a real estate agent still the best way for them to find a great deal?
This is an interesting question, John. Scientifically speaking, yes, they can do themselves because like right now we provide all the tools for buyers, like we match them we match them to the best matching properties, and then we can generate all the documentations, offer and counter offers, contract, and even the closing document for them. On the sellers, we can auto generate the listing for them, as long as they enter the address and upload some images. We can let our system do all the work, and then generate a listing. And then when the buyers matched to the property, and then the submitted offer, we can also help the sellers to run the documentation, to scan it, and then trying to see what kind of the main point of this offer, and whether it's good for them to accept, and then run it. But realistically, I think a lot of home buyers and sellers, they still need a lot of personal advice, and also like a lot of hand holding, and because especially first time home buyers, or if there's a unique situation, if a buyer or investor that buying some fixer ups and they have some special needs on some certain things about the property, or even like they have special needs on the finance side, whatever. So to do everything, although we can provide all those DIY tools for the buyer and sellers to run themselves, but we feel like most of the consumers, they still want to have some personal support, right? I mean, on the way. That's why we're saying
Well,
uh,
you really need that. I mean, I've been in the mortgage business since 1999.
yeah,
People buying and selling a home is one of the biggest transactions that happens in their lives. And it's usually such a close personal thing.
exactly,
You
exactly,
really don't
exactly.
want to lose that human touch.
Exactly, exactly. That is why we are actually also providing all this to the agents. So like whoever you are, from Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, Remax, anywhere, wherever you are, you can use our tools to make your data work much easier. You can help your clients better, or to even have most more deeper support. We are starting our own brokerage called A Broker, and some people who want to have as directly, want us to customize certain things for them, and then want to have even better support for their clients, and they want us to do something more, they can join our A Broker, and we are also going to help our agents to not only use the all these AI tools, features, unique technologies we have to support them to help their clients better, but also we can help them do some customized things that they can provide unique services to their clients as well. So yes, it's true. I think right now we are looking at agents is the best way to help the buyers and also sellers to run their transaction and have a smooth and successful journey.
Yeah. And it's just from my perspective on the lending side, the best way to describe what I do for a living is I get with the borrower, I get a better understanding of where they're at, what they're trying to accomplish, and what their goals are. And then I'm able to take, as I call it, all the puzzle pieces they send me and put those together in a manner to where I can take those puzzle pieces and put it together in a nice picture. So when I take that puzzle to my underwriter, which is my borrower, she's going to review it and look at it and go, I really like that. I'd like to buy that. You just add these other puzzle pieces here and I'll buy that loan. And that's why it's so important to have the tools on your side, which I love what you're doing with these tools here to really help out the people like the real estate agents do the minutia side of the business. Take that off of them so they can spend more time really focusing on taking care of the needs of the clients and making sure the clients really have an enjoyable experience in the home buying process. For as much as buying a home can be an enjoyable process, there's some stress typically, but if providing more tools for the agents to work with and allow them to just deliver that time to take care of the clients, I'm really fascinated by that. I think that's a great thing that you're doing here with this.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's thanks, John. This is a great point. You are shedding the very good, very deep insight on this. So basically, I think this human support and also especially the experts guidance is essential. And but what I think what we provide here, we can help you guys. We can shoulder a lot of the groundwork on behalf of you guys. Like say, you don't need to spend like a few hours with a mortgage applicant. We can actually already provide you by analyzing, by running through a lot of deep data. We can actually already give you some, basically we can tell you like this person potentially, he will have this kind of need, down the road. So we might need to consider certain kind of special terms in the mortgage for them, whatever, right? Because sometimes you have to ask the buyers a lot of questions before you before detect, oh, what's really good for them, or what might be good for them, or what they might actually need, but they didn't even understand themselves yet, or they didn't even know themselves yet. So by doing this, we can actually get a lot of information first, and then by just detecting and by analyzing and by projecting, and then we can provide all those information to you so you can do a job much easier, right? And then basically say, hey, this person, this is a tendency, this is his needs, and this is his or her potential future terms, when they do the mortgage, and this person's credit have certain issues, but they can overcome that or whatever, right? So those things, it can save you a lot of groundwork, when you put together the package, the policy for them.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: is with all of that said, I'd really like to dive into some more information on what real estate trends do you see happening in the industry in the coming years? Because there has been a lot. I mean, everybody watching the show today can agree there's been dramatic changes in the world of real estate just in the past 5 years alone. So, can you dive in a little bit dive into that a little bit for us? What trends do you see they're going to be shaping this industry?
Yeah, that's a great question, John. So, a lot of industry, a lot of industry conference, they basically delve in the past, but they don't. And if they're talking about future now, what you hear is just AI, but they really don't have a clear clue what the AI they really bring to the industry, right? So we see like AI just one part, like a ChatGPT become popular like almost 2 years ago, and then everyone started doing something, you know, basically agent can use ChatGPT to write some social media like a marketing promote posts and to promote their items, and also sometimes they use ChatGPT to write something. But again, ChatGPT write what they write is very generic, very basic, general stuff. So this is one thing, and some people say, "Oh, you have to, be very specific in your prompt. Be very clear what, and then try to." Yeah, of course, but not everyone can spend like 5 minutes, or they have the time or patience to spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes to write a long sentence with like a few lines, tell ChatGPT clearly what they want. And even if they say very specifically, ChatGPT a lot of time they can give them a clear, a real answer, because they are not really trained for real estate, and let alone like unique models. The other trend what we see that, because it's a mega lawsuit 2 years ago, and a year and a half ago. Yeah, it's like ChatGPT a year and a half ago, and the August 17th settlement last year, and AR settled with the on this mega lawsuit. So the 500 million settlement. So basically, after that, buyers no longer mandatorily required to be part of the 6% commission when a property is listed in MLS. In other words, is like a seller only need to commit 3% to his seller listing agent, and the other 3% to the buy agent. The buy agent has to write a separate agreement with the buyer client. So this is supposed to be giving flexibility to buyers, so they have their own choice, and they can negotiate. But however, what we see what happened in the industry is that a lot of brokers, they just telling people, oh, they just add another step. You basically you know uh, tell your clients, buy your clients to sign a separate agreement. Still the old still the way like 3%, but it just like the buyer has to write a separate paper, and then the buy agent will bring this to the listing agent. Say, is your house, is your potential possibly also include the 3%, if it's included. So that's the rule of thumb is that most industries, most brokers, they still do the old way. It just like add an extra step. But what we see is that going forward the next few years, a lot of buyers are more tech savvy. They were saying, why I cannot do a lot of things myself, or they trying to negotiate. In that case, the agent need to show to the buyer client what the value they really bring. So in that situation, our REAI system, we really can bring a lot of value to the agents, that they can show to the clients why they basically guide them through the best deal, to buy a home. And if a buyer want to do a lot of things themselves, and of course the rear feature will be the best for them, because we guide the buyers, we tell them the best match, and then why this house is the best match, and how to renovate it, and how much it will cost to renovate it, and how it might look like, and what's the long-term financial ramifications, and what's a valuation could be in the next few years. So those kind of things, right? And the buyers can get a lot of support, and also, they're interested in the house. We can help them generate offer to run the contract. There are a lot of documentation, and then when they want a mortgage, we can give them a lot of advice on it, and then we can guide them to you guys. Say, hey, this person is ready to do a mortgage right now, and then here's the situation, and you guys can do a job much easier for them. So a lot of things. I think it's a trend that as a real AI can help consumers. Interestingly, our name is REAI, so we call it real re. So it's a real AI. So basically, I think a real AI can really help people a lot, and not just like those. If you go to some conference in this real estate conference, people talking about AI is the future. But besides ChatGPT, they really don't they they're only talking about some buzzword, right? Open AI and Anthropic, and they're just talking about some buzzword, and now they're talking about some other models, other generic service that available to general customers, even Meta, and you have some some applications, but that doesn't really solve their help. So I think that going the next few years, one big thing is that the real AI that can help people do a lot of things, and some buyers might want more support, and buy a client, so buy agent can get more value here, and also the listing agent and the homeowner can also get a lot of help through the real AI, and I think that will be the main trend going forward. And of course, there's some other trend too, right? How the mortgage, how the mortgage rate, interest rate will fluctuate the next few years, and how the inventory will be, because a lot of big cities and metro area, the inventory is very limited. So the trend is like going suburbs, but they also depend on cities, right? Tier one city, tier two cities, or and so a lot of people like to move to rural areas, like people still can work remote, and they would like to move to some states where, like Texas, where the plenty of land, and they can have privacy of 1 acre, 2 acre, and then they can do their work more efficiently. So that's also a trend, and I think there's a mobility is another big phenomenon going forward. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're getting close here to the end of the show, but I do want to ask you one last question. And as a lot of my viewers know, I've been involved in the world of real estate, working with real estate investors for a very long time, since the 90s, as a matter of fact. So real estate investing is close and near and dear to my heart. And by the way, anybody listening, if you're looking to invest in real estate and need an expert that's got the wallet full of money, just reach out to me. I would love to help you out. With that said, James, do you have any insider tips on finding the best deals on fixer uppers? What's the smartest way for my investors to find these deals out there? Because when I got started in this business, all you had to really do was get a real estate agent and say, hey, find me some ugly houses. I got the money to buy it and make things happen. Now, not so much anymore. You gotta do a lot more digging to try to find deals.
Yeah, that's a great question, John. So basically, uh, interestingly, we actually have a second book. Our first book is called Next Gen Real Estate Tech. The second book is, purchase purchase properties, with the best tools in the new era. So we are talking about teaching the readers how to use the real AI features to run through the data, the numbers, and see what's the real value in different kind of fixer up situations. Because right now, a lot of people, they go to MLS, they don't see that much, and MLS is very crowded, competitive, right? Everyone see it, and then but underneath the number, what's the real situation? Is this fixer up really worth it, and how much it will cost, and how longer, how much like cost, and what's the time frame takes to finish it, and what's the valuation will be after different levels of renovation done, and so it really give a different result, right? I mean, if you are looking at short-term flipping, or if you're long-term renting out, or you like home own residence. So different situation means different levels or different degrees of renovation and for fixer ups. So we can provide a lot of guidance for people, and it's hard to put a very generic answer, say, oh, this is the best way for a fixer up, because everyone's different needs. Some people look at like first time home buyers, they look at some good deals, like a very lower price relatively speaking, and they can gradually fix it down the road and make it much better step by step. Or some people just want to find a quick deal, flipped it. Or some people want to find a really good deal, long term investment, keep it a long term rental or short term rental, and a few years down the road sell it. So a lot of different ways, and I won't say it's like a generic, like one fits all. It's like our system actually provide a lot of support on this situation, that people we can help people analyze and advise them on whatever is the best package for them, or best property or best deal for them, and which fix it up is better for them to do a short term or long term rental, or home own residence, or vacation property, or what. So those kind of situation, I think it's really case by case basis. But I think a lot of things need to, all things considered, right? I mean, what's the purpose, long term purpose of this property, or short term purpose of this property, and then what's the financial situation, and whether you can afford to not living there a few months and just spend time fix it, or you need to be live there first and then gradually fix it yourself. So we can provide people advice and guidance on it. And I think any home buyers and or mortgage folks who need mortgage, and who also working on the fix ups, they also need to put all this into consideration. What is the best term for them, and then look at different scenarios carefully before they decide it.
Well, James, I really appreciate you being here today, and I'm going to bring this up on the screen here so my audience can see how they can get a hold of you. I've also put your contact information down in the chat, but thank you very much for spending the time here with us today and really diving into giving us a better understanding of AI and how it works in the world of real estate. And I encourage anybody, whether you're looking at buying a home, or you're a real estate agent looking to add another tool to your tool belt, feel free to reach out to James and his team and see if what they have going on is something that may be of benefit for you. But James, with that said, do you have any last thing you'd like to say before we come to the end of another episode?
Yeah, thanks, John, and really great to be here and discussing the industry and discussing the needs of everyone. And good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. And if any needs we can be helpful, please feel free to email us or reach out. Yeah, thanks.
Very good. Well, I appreciate it. I'm going to put you back in the green room, and I'm going to say goodbye to the audience, and I will see you in a minute, James. All righty. Well, I want to thank you all very much for being here today for another edition of Real Talk with Real Estate Pros. Once again, we're here every week, Wednesdays at 11:30 a.m. Central, and I'd really appreciate it if you would share my show, subscribe to the show, leave comments, ask questions. And if you know anybody that you think would be a great guest for the show, please reach out to me. Send me a direct message, text me. I'll have all my contact information in the chat. Reach out to me. I'd love to have them on the show. But you all have a great day. Have a great rest of the week. And I will see you all next weekend.
HEB's hundreds